Hello, welcome to another Ask Harry session where the questions are always fantastic and I'm going to try and answer them as honestly as possible. I haven't seen these questions before, so they're real time, which always makes things a little bit fun. So the first question we got here from Corey is, when was the last time you did something for the first time? When's the last time I did something for the first time? I went to university recently, so I've just come back from London and America, and I went to MIT University for a week. I did a program called the Entrepreneurial Master Program, and I worked from 8 a.m. till 10 p.m. with a 1 hour break for lunch and dinner. That was the first time I did that. I got 2 more years of that. That was exhausting. So I'd say that was the last time I did something for the first time. But yeah, that was a lot. If we could see your recent Google history right now, what would surprise us? Well, let's have a look. Recent Google history. Melbourne time zone. You wanted to know the time zone in Melbourne. Scaling up weekly huddles. Nike brand values. Synonym for growth. Commonwealth biz. Basically sums up my life. Just business brand values, Commonwealth Bank, 12 times 70 is just thrown in there. 8 USD to AUD. There's some really controversial stuff in there with 7 times 60 as well. Look, my business history my search history isn't as exciting as you'd think, to be honest. I'm putting you on the spot. What's your best SEO pickup line? Weirdly, I know a few of these. I'm trying to think of like a PG one, because a lot of the ones I know are like, even MA's hard. You could do something like, hey, are you a website? And they're like, no. And you say, that's a shame, because I was gonna do a technical audit. You know, that's a G version. That's pretty terrible. I know, that's pretty bad. You could say to someone, what's your average position? Which, of course, when we're talking about SEO terms, is what's the average position in the SERPs? Yo has, what's the best piece of SEO advice is the most ignored? Honestly, the best advice that most people ignore: have good technical SEO, understand, making sure your page speed's good, make sure that all that stuff is sound, optimize your content, look at your EAT, look at yourself as an entity, like what do you have around that entity, are you in interviews, are you doing all that kind of stuff, how are you as a brand optimized, and then backlinks, do you have good links, do you have good, are you doing any digital PR, could you be doing digital PR, is there an exciting angle or something? That's the best kind of SEO advice I can give you. Most people ignore that because it sounds too simple, but it actually is like 90% of an SEO person's job. Next question. We're halfway through 2022. What aspect of SEO has surprised you so far this year? I'm really surprised. I think what's most surprising to me from an SEO perspective this year has been 2 things. Number one, digital PR, how that's working, how people are scaling that, structuring that, doing that with less journalists, less publications. I find that incredibly interesting and surprising that SEOs have now taken this and made it their own thing, basically disrupting the PR market. So I find that really cool. What weird thing have I found out? Like all the AI written content about how fast that peaked and how fast that fell off and came down. That surprised me. I thought that would last for at least a couple of years, but no, that really crashed hard and fast. You suddenly find yourself in charge of Google. What's the most immediate thing you would change? I've got a lot of answers for that. Number one, I would set up a team to liaise with the SEO community more so than what's currently happening. Currently there's a couple people that are liaising with the SEO community, but they don't have any backing from Google, and it becomes really hard for them because they've basically got the whole SEO community, which is a multi-billion-dollar industry, trying to chat to a couple different people at Google that don't know all the answers themselves. And so I would kind of set up a coordination team there. Number two, I would definitely restructure the Google Ads team It's honestly horrendous how bad they are at managing their own accounts. Like we don't even do Google ads, but Google will still call us and be like, hey, you should be doing Google ads with us, or some of your campaigns aren't optimized. I'm like, dude, we don't do Google ads. There's some really bad emails out there from the Google support team saying things like, if you don't introduce us to this client that you're doing ads for, we'll tell the client that you're ignoring our advice and like disregarding best practice. But here's the thing, Google ads team literally only do what they can to make Google more money. They do not give a flying crap about your account, right? They don't care. They are just trying to make Google more money. So yeah, I'll restructure that whole team. That's not good for the customer. That's a bad customer experience. Why Studio Hawk and not Studio Duck, Studio Eagle? Okay, well, so Studio Hawk is a specialized SEO agency, right? We do one thing. And we like to say, the kind of slogan that I say is be exceptional at less rather than be ordinary at more. So rather than being another digital agency and being ordinary at kind of doing everything, we want to be exceptional at one thing. And Hawks are known for what? Their exceptional vision, right? The exceptional vision that they have, best in the class. So the idea there was, to be known for that one thing. And our vision, that vision for us is SEO. And so we want to be exceptional at that one thing. So that's why we call ourselves Studio Hawk rather than Studio Duck or Studio Eagle or Studio Pigeon. With Studio Hawk, they're best of breed in their vision. Favorite getaway location and why, lol? Getaway location and why, lol? I like the SEO question. Those are easy to answer. Favorite getaway location? I love London. I love getting to London. I think it's a fantastic city. I think their SEO is exceptional. And when I'm surrounded by people like that, it gives me a lot of energy. So I think that's a great getaway location for me. Otherwise, places like the Gold Coast in Australia are beautiful and sunny. I love I'm that weirdo that likes like a cabin in the middle of a forest. So, sometimes I jump on Airbnb and I can find for the weekend just a little cabin in the forest, in the woods. That gives me a lot of calm. So I'd say that's my favorite kind of getaway destination. As I was going to St. Ives, I met a man with 7 wives. Every wife oh my God, what is this question, Corey? So as I was going to St. Ives, I met a man with 7 wives. Every wife had 7 sacks. Every sack had 7 cats. Every cat had 7 kittens. Kittens, sacks, cats, sacks, and wives. How many were going to St. Ives? 1. You. It was easy. Come on, give me a better riddle. What's the most misunderstood aspect of SEO? Backlinks. Easily, undoubtedly, people do not understand them. I actually think people do not care or comprehend. I don't understand what it is, but people just straight up don't understand it. I don't know why that is. I think it's just because I've been living and breathing it 10 years. It's easy for me to get, but when you haven't been doing it and you just hear so much misinformation out there around them, yeah, I can totally see why it might be challenging to get them. But yeah, I'd say they're definitely the most misunderstood part. Am I excited for Starfield? Now, these are the real questions that I want here, guys, not the St. Ives, 7 men, 7 wives. Am I excited for Starfield? Absolutely. Starfield's a new game that's coming out, made by Bethesda. They made Skyrim. I've already taken a day off for Starfield, so I've already got that scheduled away. So don't try and organize a meeting for me when that comes out. But yeah, I'm excited to see what my boy Todd's cooked up this time. Is SEO a competitive market, and if so, how do you stay ahead? I actually get this question a lot, and it's a very interesting question. SEO as a concept is very competitive. There's an infinite amount of people that do SEO, right? Everyone's an expert, everyone's doing SEO. And so people are trying to constantly sell SEO. At an actual market level, if you look at SEO as an industry, it's weirdly not that competitive because you've basically got in Australia, you've probably got 3 companies that are doing SEO at a really good level. You've got probably double that, triple that, more likely triple that in the UK. Probably got, same in the US. It's not that competitive in the sense that there's actually very few companies that have managed to scale out an SEO operation and do it at a high level consistently. How do you stay ahead? Like any business, you have to constantly be evolving. If you sit there and we were named Global Large Search SEO Agency of the Year, right? That's a great award. That's a fantastic accolade. That does not mean we keep doing what we're doing, right? That means we take that, we look at that. What are the parts we like about our SEO? What are the parts we don't like? What can we change? What can we rectify? What are the things in our organizational structure that we can change and make better? Doing things and being good at them is not an excuse, because just as much as we're improving constantly, everyone else is improving constantly. So, one of the core values at Studio Hawk is, evolution, evolving, growth. And we always want to be evolving what we do. Google's always evolving. We should be too. So thank you very much for the questions, guys, especially whoever asked me the Starfield question. If you have any other questions, please send them through. They don't seem to be that filtered, so don't worry about that. But it's always good to interact a little bit and have some fun with these. So send them through, guys. Chat soon.